so the two uprights with the lintel. 5 of them in a circle, so it's not accurate, so we can't take that as a...
Accidentally stopped it.
The only stones that we know of falling, so this trilithon here, the 2 uprights with the lintel, fell over away from us on the 31st of December at 1 minute to midnight, 1797. Okay, huge storm here. Years of frosting and thawing, people climbing on them, walking around them, weak into the ground. The storm was the last straw. Stones fell. Apparently when they fell, they made such a loud crash, they could hear them fall in Amesbury, 2 miles over there.
Wow.
What I suspect they heard was thunder. It was a storm, okay? But it makes for a nice story. Okay? The 2 uprights with the lintel on the other side fell over this way towards us, on top of these that was lying flat in 1900. They were all stood up in 1958. Okay, the stone stood up all by itself just there, fell over again towards us in October 1953. Stood back up in and then strong winds that year. However, if you ever meet anyone who's really nice and 50s and you say, "Did you guys get that on the train?" they will deny it.
Flowers. Just get to be inside of the stones. Look at how cool this is, the back of the stone.
I know it, and we both walked out. The stones are not going to check that. Chances of them falling over now is slim to none. They're all concreted in. All the lintels have got, of course, light cement between the lintel and the upright stuff from rocking, so they're all and that all happens between 1919 all the way through to 1959.
There's some.
Yes, yeah. They would have been highly polished. All, if not most of the stones have polished marks on them. Even the sarsen polishes up as well. Goes like this lovely, slightly off-white colour. I say lovely, slightly white. So yeah, and all the blue stones are like. If I can get to my bag, it's more of a green. Chair, that's all right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they would have almost been going like this precious stone.
So, okay, so this is sarsen stone. Okay, when it's not covered in lichen. Okay. And then 3 types of bluestone. So you've got rhyolite, dolerite, and spotted dolerite. Okay, obviously spotted dolerite and dolerite are exactly the same, just one's got spots in it, which is 4. But that's rhyolite. Okay, so you've got this bluish colour. Yeah, lots of iron in it, which is the red. Okay, that's rhyolite. Most of the stones are rhyolite. Okay, most of the blue stones are rhyolite. That is spotted dolerite. So again, it's this bluish colour with all these white specks, and this white speck is quartz. Okay, and then this is what dolerite looks like when it's polished. Okay,
It's beautiful.
you could buy this in the shop, £15.
Yeah. In a gift shop?
Yeah.
Oh, I might get one.
Yeah, I have to admit, I did not buy mine.
Oh, it's a worry stone. Yeah. Well, that's what they.
Yeah.
That's why they shape them that way.
Yeah.
Oh, I might get one of those.
Dolerite, yeah.
Blue dolerite, yeah.
You said that all these were moved, right?
Not moved. Oh, what? As in the people moved them from where they come from to build Stonehenge.
How long could they like pull it? How far were they? Like,
Right, so the big stones came 15 miles across land, okay? And they'd put the stone on a sledge, and then they'd put logs underneath the sledge. Now, the logs wouldn't roll, okay, because of the weight of the stone. It would push them into the ground. So we've got lots and lots of pigs in Britain, okay? Millions. We still have lots of pigs today. In fact, Wiltshire, where you are now, we're famous for our pigs. We're famous for our ham. You buy Wiltshire ham all over the world, okay? So we probably ate lots of pigs, and we used the pig fat to lubricate the logs to slide it over. Okay? It takes 150 to 200 people to pull one sarsen stone from its location to here with ropes. Okay? Oh, it would take probably a couple of weeks. Just logs. It's doable. It's doable, but it just takes effort and time. We've got my other two stones anywhere. Ah, that's cool. Yes, carving. Yeah. Let me just find my other bit of blue stone, my shiny bit. Has anyone got my other bit of blue stone? Oh, you've got it. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. You got questions as well? Well, I'm not quick enough to stop the birds. And the birds look after the stones. They protect the stones. Do you know who King Arthur and the Wizard Merlin are? Right. King Arthur is a legend in Britain, okay? And the Wizard Merlin. Do you know who Harry Potter is? Right, so Wizard Merlin's like Harry Potter, but 10 times better. Okay? So Merlin, the wizard, built Stonehenge using music and magic and giants. Okay? And the king loved it so much, he wanted to make sure it was protected for the rest of eternity, the rest of life. So Merlin, the wizard, makes a promise that when he died, he'll turn into a rook, one of the birds, and he'll protect Stonehenge for the rest of eternity. So maybe one of these birds is the wizard Merlin. Right, pull these away and then we'll talk about graffiti.
Can I ask as well? You mentioned the altar. Did they use the altar in the same sense that we think of an altar? The way
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. It's called an altar because of the Victorians. Basically, in the Victorian period and pre-Victorian period in Britain, well, all over the world, if you're a scholar, you have to connect everything to Christianity. Okay. If you don't, then no one takes you seriously. Okay. So obviously, Stonehenge was an early Christian church, which means that was obviously the altar. Okay. So we don't know if it was used as an altar, but it's in the right place if it was. Therefore, we keep the name. Okay. Right, graffiti. Okay, so people start graffitiing Stonehenge in the Bronze Age. Okay, so Bronze Age in Britain starts arguably about 2300 BC, all the way up to the Middle Bronze Age. So again, arguably about 1500 BC. Okay, and they've got a bit of a fascination with daggers and axes. Okay, it's a little bit weird. Okay, but just here we've got a dagger. Okay, if I can just get you to step back just ever so slightly so the people behind can. So just here's the dagger, and just here is the axe head. So that's the blade of the axe just there, okay? So an axe head looks like, here's one I made earlier. There we go. That's an axe head, okay? There's 48 axe heads and 2 daggers on this one stone, okay? All in this lower area here, okay? Couple just here.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them you can't see anymore, and that's because of people touching and licking. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why you can't touch the stones. Okay, one of the many reasons. These were actually discovered by a 12-year-old. Okay, in the 1960s. He was up here with his dad. His dad was an archaeologist, and they came to Stonehenge for a day out. And the son, being bored, was just looking around, kicking the stones. And then he went, "Dad, that looks like a knife." And his dad came looking over and he said, "Don't be silly, don't be silly." He looked at it and went, It is! Huge discovery. Everyone got very excited. People started looking very, very closely at the stones. Realised there's lots of axes on there too. There's a few other stones with them on as well. And you can no longer touch the stones since December 1978. Okay. So they're Bronze Age, and then nobody graffiti Stonehenge after that until the 1600s. Okay. So the Romans don't touch it, the Vikings don't touch it, no one in the medieval period touches it, really, other than recycling it. But 1600s, early 1600s, some cool dude does this. Okay, makes no sense whatsoever. IOH colon LVD colon DXFERRE. Okay, we know it's early 1600s because of the colons. Colon comes into the English language in the early 1600s, and there's no rule to it. Okay, so people use it to break up names or sentences. So if we were writing this today, we would write IOH space LVD space DXFERRE. There is a theory that it might be a poet. There's a poet around in the early 1600s called De Vere. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows their poetry, but there's a theory that it might be his name. We don't know. There's no evidence to back this up, so anyone's guess. And then there's a couple of bits from the 1700s, 1800s. If you're around in the 1800s and you got money, you come to Stonehenge and you carve your name. Okay. There was a policeman. There was a policeman who was paid to be here in the late 1800s, and his job was to protect the site, make sure no one damages it. If you paid him a shilling, he'd give you a hammer and a chisel. Carve your name, take a bit home for a souvenir. Up to you. 1800s. So, if we all the stone that stood up all by itself, right directly in front of me now. Okay, on the outside there. On the other side, you've got Sedgefield Anstey. Now, Mr. Sedgefield took the very first ever photo of Stonehenge in the 1830s. Okay, it was a 3D photo. Okay, most photos were 3D back then. The photo is now owned by Dr. Brian May, the lead guitarist of Queen. Okay, he's an avid collector. He's got the largest collector of 3D photos in the world. He's an awesome guy. I had the privilege of giving him a private tour here, which ran over by an hour. Yeah, not because I was talking, because I was in awe of him. And I didn't want to ask him to leave. Yeah, my wife was not happy with me that day. But Mr. Sedgefield comes from a little place called Anstey. Okay, hence why it says Sedgefield Anstey. You've also got Tom Senior, 1817 on there. No idea who he is, but what a guy. The stone there that's got the crack from the top to about 2/3 of the way down. On the other side, you've got W. Skeet, August 15th, 1814. It's one of my personal favourites. No idea who the person is, but the date is pivotal in British military history. We beat Napoleon Bonaparte, the French army, in Spain in 1814. We kicked them out. All right. So I'd like to think that might be sort of back from the war in Spain. Maybe he was killed at
That stone right there. It's cool. This is oh yeah. That's cool. Sweet. Almost looks like eyes. Yeah, doesn't it? Wow. That is so bizarre. Actually, yeah, it's a great one from here too. Oh wow. That is neat. Huh. Yep, American.
direct reaction to that, we built aeroplanes. Lots of aeroplanes. Start training lots of pilots. And just before we built it, we have the Royal Flying Corps Stonehenge aeroplane. Okay, and they are flying the new Grand Angle Henry Hayes bombers, and they are training Americans, date, he built Stonehenge out of concrete. Okay? However, it's a completed version of Stonehenge. Okay? So it's a completed version. So what it would have looked like. Okay? It includes all the blue stones as well. Still made out of concrete. It's now a memorial to the fallen. Okay? All the stones have got the names of all the American soldiers who were killed during the First World War. Very, very nice site. Highly recommend going to visit once the Stonehenge completed. Second World War, Americans again. Right. So, go anywhere in Britain where the Americans were based in the Second World War, you will find graffiti in trees. Okay? We call these armiglyphs. They're part of the historical record now. They're fascinating. They will range from anything from someone's initials to I was here, to unit citations or badges, to love notes, to I guarantee on at least one tree in each location you will find a carving of a lady not wearing much. Don't know what it is about you Americans. They just take the place, carving the trees too. In the trees, right up in the distance over there are lots of armiglyphs carvings. One of which is of a lady not wearing much. Her name is Doris. Doris. It's got Doris written next to it. It's got a little love heart with an arrow going through. And it's got the American GI's number ranking name. 4th of June, 1944. 2 days before D-Day. Hopefully, he survived the war and came home and made an honest woman, Doris. I also hope he never found out about the carving that he did. I want to kill me if I ever did something like that. But yeah, so Second World War. Our most famous piece of graffiti at Stonehenge though is by a guy called Christopher Wren. Does everyone know who Christopher Wren is? Does anyone not know? Okay, so Christopher Wren built St Paul's Cathedral in London. Okay, he's one of Britain's most celebrated architects. We have a big fire in London in 1666. It burns down pretty much the whole city. And Christopher Wren's one of the architects who's commissioned to rebuild London. And he built St Paul's Cathedral.
I'm
Has anyone been to St Paul's?
away
You
then.
love it, isn't it? It's an amazing place. Yeah, if you haven't been, I highly recommend it. So Christopher Wren was born just down the road. He's local to here. He loves Stonehenge. He's the guy that us guys love to hate. Okay? He's so talented. He's an architect. He's a poet. He's a painter. He's a writer. He's, you name it, this guy does it. He's an astronomer. He's loaded. He's got loads of money, and he's handsome. Okay? One day he comes up to this stone and he puts a cross for Christopher. W-R-E-N. Christopher Wren. Okay? Well, this is in the 1600s, late 1600s, so it's perfectly fine to do it then. St Paul's Cathedral. So the dome of the cathedral, the same diameter as the stone circle. Okay? Stand outside of the cathedral and look up. There's lots of pillars.
You can go back some if you want.
Yeah, they look almost man-made, but they're not. Yeah. What is man-made is those bubbles, and then the whole.
And that's graffiti.
You can see that picture.
And that one. I'll turn and do that one. And that one. If you could go right here. Yeah, look at that sun. Look at the sun up there.
So, what would have happened is it would have been discovered by an archaeologist, and he would have gone, oh, it's pretty cool. We need to put
Just keep. No, I will put a knee here.
What do you?
Just a circle. See the sun behind you.
So when the stones fall, we always get the bottom part of the stone to fall first.
So cool. commentary. Wow. That's nice.
More reading.
Yep.
But what you'll notice is you've got a nice looking stone with an ugly stone. Nice looking stone, ugly stone, nice looking stone. Male, female, sun, moon.
There
Look
it
at the
is.
draw. No.
Wren. I don't know if you
No,
can see it.
burial mound, there's burials here. So 3000 BC, people from Wales come here with their blue stones. They dig the henge. They then dig 56 burial pits going around the inside of the henge.
Is the same thing as Woodhenge?
No, no. There's no burials there. There is a burial there, but it's not later. And there's no, that's all to do with life. They don't want burials there. They want life and death to interact. So they're just trying to create a number around. Look at the other footprint.
Sorry.
哎，看我啊，不要碰到石头啊。